Disclaimer, stuff in this video might be kinda hard to listen to if you don't like topics like these. So, if you don't like those types of topics, be sure to go watch some of my other videos. Thank you. Before I get into it, thank you guys so much for all the support you've been giving me lately. I just wanted to go ahead and jump in here and add that in here, and I really appreciate it. If you'd like to support me, you can do so by subscribing. Making videos like these is really hard for me. YouTube's my job, and topics like these don't get monetized, typically, because, you know, YouTube doesn't like them. So, if you want to subscribe, you can. I would really appreciate it. Anyway, let's continue. Before I get into it, I would like to go ahead and say this right at the beginning. Do not attack anyone involved in this thing. Not even Nova. But especially don't attack any of the minors involved, even the minors who were or are on Nova's side. I've spoken to a lot of them that I could get a hold of, and a lot of them have come to realize that Nova was in fact wrong. But I'm sure there's a few select children that are on his side, but we cannot be angry at them because they're just children. They're minors that are being manipulated by the person in this video. So please, if you see anybody defending Nova and they are a minor, if anything, give them your support. Don't attack anyone. Just no one. Not even Nova. Just don't attack anybody at all. That's grody, okay? Just please don't attack anyone, especially any minors involved. Thank you so much. Hello everybody, it's me, Nawnii, and I'm really upset to say that this is what I have to do when I get back on YouTube. But it's still 2020 for me, so I guess it's fitting, right? Right, please. Anyways, unfortunately, this is going to be a very difficult video for me to make. I've been thinking about it for the past 2 weeks. As a matter of fact, I've been thinking about it since I left, like when I made my goodbye video a couple weeks ago. I've been thinking about it since then because unfortunately this started to unravel pretty much the day before I was actually leaving. So that's fantastic. If you know me, you might know some of my friends, and one of my ex-friends now, I guess, is Nova. I've made art for this person. I've put them in videos before. I've interacted with them on several occasions. I've been a friend of theirs for over a year now, I think, technically. And unfortunately, I found out some not so savory things about this person, and it's really hard for me to talk about. But I feel like it's my responsibility to do so because I can't help but feel at fault because he was contacting minors in a not so great way, and a lot of the minors he was contacting were found through my Discord server, and I feel like a complete idiot for letting someone in my server, let alone in my friend group, who behaves this way. So I just wanted to go ahead and get that right off the bat, because you might not know what I'm talking about. But anyway, Nova Synergy is a friend of mine was a friend of mine who is 18 years old, and I met them through a YouTube stream. Typically, if I do make online friends, especially through my fans, I try to make sure that they're an adult, at least, because I don't relate to children, but basically. So, he ended up in my main friend group that consists of my adult friends, internet friends, and even IRL friends alike. He just ended up in that friend group. He was somebody I would talk to on a constant, I think since we met, we talked to consistently for months and months, maybe not every single day, but practically, at least 4 times a week, except for a 2-month break that I took in the middle of the year, and I really wasn't talking to anyone. But, that's a whole totally different, unrelated situation. The past couple months, I've been actively talking to Nova every single day. We would play Phasmophobia together, other games of course, but Phasmophobia was our favorite, I would like to think. Everything was fine, we were just friends. We had a Minecraft server together, or rather he was in my Minecraft server. Everything was Gucci Gang. It was fantastic. I'm sorry that I just said Gucci Gang. Until about 2 weeks ago, like I said, right before I made my goodbye for now video, somebody contacted me in regard to one of my moderators. That moderator being, of course, the topic of this video, Nova. And Nova has been in contact with this person. I'm not gonna say their name because they're a minor and I'm sure that they're going through enough right now. I'm gonna try my very best to block out every minor involved in the situation, even if they're not directly involved and they just sent me a screenshot. I'm gonna be sure to just block out every single minor's name that I can. So, somebody contacted me that Nova was really close to a minor, and admittedly, I knew that he was really close to this person. However, I did not know that they were a minor. This person, she was actually in my Minecraft server, and we got into calls together, and everything. I just thought it was a friend of Nova, so a friend of Nova is a friend of mine, because that's just how it works. Like, I mean, if my friends want other people to join the Minecraft server, who am I to judge them? We were in voice calls on a couple of different occasions, and my first thought was that she did sound pretty young, but I mean, Nova kind of sounds young. He kind of is silly in that way. I'm not saying that her voice was young, I'm just saying, like, the way that they spoke sounded young, but I kind of chalked it up that, well, this person is Nova's friend, and Nova kind of talks childish too. So I was like, whatever, I'm gonna give my friend the benefit of the doubt, like, it's probably not a big deal, I'm just overthinking, because I constantly make videos about these types of people. This is my friend, he wouldn't do that. He supports me, so obviously he probably supports the content I make, right? That's my thought process, and I let it go. I didn't even think about it. So I can't say that I was surprised to find out that this person had been 13 years old at the time that Nova was speaking to them in this way. And so immediately I was extremely uncomfortable, because I remember the calls that we had, and they were very flirty, those two. Like, not me, obviously, but Nova and this person were very flirty and giggly, and I didn't really think anything of it because my boyfriend was in the call too, and I'm sure we were probably kind of like that. So I was just like, whatever, it's just like Nova's little girlfriend or something. But I had no idea that they were 13, you know? So my first thought process was, well, maybe Nova didn't know how old she was, and I decided to contact Nova. Nova, I'm sorry to come at you with this, and I literally have no idea how to say it, but someone came to me just now and told me that the minor is 13. And I know how close you are. And so I thought maybe he was like, oh my god, she's 13, I didn't know. Like, I'm gonna block her, I'm gonna unfriend her. Whatever, that's what the best case scenario in my head had been at the time. But instead of saying anything like that, or even trying to defend himself or anything, he said, who told you? Which in my brain solidified that he knew that this person was 13. So I responded with, I don't know if that matters. And you don't think less of me, do you? So, me trying my very best to give him the benefit of the doubt is that I don't know the situation, but I know how it looks. Because they talked very weird in that 1 or 2 voice calls that we were in, and I was just really concerned, you know? He responded with, we aren't dating, that's for sure. We do have boundaries. I said, considering I talk about these types of situations constantly on my channel, I don't know how it would look having you publicly be lovey-dovey with a child in my server, when apparently it makes people uncomfortable also. Like, I've known you for so long and I love you to death, but I don't know how to feel at this very moment. He said that she barely talks in the server. So instead of trying to debunk the fact that he talks lovey-dovey with this person, me saying that was sort of my way of baiting him into telling me whether or not he in fact was lovey-dovey with this person, if you know what I mean. And instead of saying anything about that, he said she barely talks in the server. I said, all I mean is, it's apparent enough that someone has come to me. So, you know, it's obvious enough that he's connecting with this child. When did they come to you today? Yeah, but I don't think that matters in this situation. She hasn't been active in the server for like a month. Again, that doesn't matter. Why does that matter? You're being lovey-dovey with a child, or at least you're not saying you're not. That doesn't negate the fact that you're talking to a minor like that. I didn't realize how young she was, otherwise I would have said something way earlier, I'm sure. I understand you probably don't think too much of me, and he's just trying to make me feel bad. So he did not deny that he was talking lovey-dovey with this person, and I found some other screenshots of him saying he actually did in fact have feelings for this minor. So there's that. In our conversation, I'm not sure if I can find the screenshot, but one of the ways that he was trying to justify this was saying, well, she just had a birthday last month. Oh, whoop-de-doo, Nova, your 13-year-old turned 14. That does not make the situation any better. Please, stop. But before I left for California, I actually had been planning on meeting Nova because he's a friend of mine and he lives in California. Right before I left, I found out about all this, and that plan was thrown out the window immediately, because obviously I'm not going to meet somebody who does this to children. Before I left, I told him that he should just block her if he didn't know any better or whatever. Again, I was giving him the benefit of the doubt, and that was stupid on my part. But, he told me that he was gonna stop talking to her. Here's the screenshots of that. Oh, and by the way, it's like, I don't know why people keep saying they know my age. I've not told anybody. Instead of trying to say, I'll stop talking to the child, I realize that this is wrong now, he's coming at me with screenshots of her saying that nobody knows her age, even though he almost 100% said that knew her age, especially with the birthday, and when I said she was 13, he didn't deny it. So I really don't know what the point in this was. It's just like a really sad attempt to try to clear his name, because like nobody knows her age, even though the only person that I care about knowing her age is him, but whatever. Anyways, after that, he decided that it was best to cut contact with the child, and I was very thankful. I thought everything was going to be fine. I told him that I really appreciated it. We talked a little bit later, and I said, look, you should really just try to think to yourself and realize what you did wrong and why it's wrong, whatever. But I go to California, and a couple days into my trip, I find out that he was still talking to this person, and I become a lot more angry at that point, and I just don't know what to do. I'm talking to my boyfriend. I say, do I make a video? What do I do? Do I reach out to the girl? What do I do? I've dealt with people like this before, just never a friend of mine, or at least somebody I considered this close. So it's a really confusing, or it was a really confusing situation for me at that time. At the time, it came to agreement that this could probably be handled privately. We tried to get him to get help, make sure that he doesn't talk to the child anymore, and all that jazz. And I thought it would be fine. I removed him as a moderator, obviously, even before I talked to him, just in case. And then later, I just decided to ban him from my server completely because I just couldn't deal with the idea of anything happening while I was gone and away from the server. So I just kicked him for that time being. Finally, I get home and I decided to tell one of me and Nova's mutuals because all of us were really close to each other, and I just felt like he should know. So I told one of our mutuals about everything, and he agreed that what Nova is doing is gross, and he is no longer going to be associating with Nova, which is 100% understandable. I agree. One of our other mutuals decided to reach out to Nova, and again tried to convince him to distance himself from the minor that he has feelings for, and he then told us both that the minor is blocked, and everything, the minor's blocked, right? He kind of tried to guilt trip us a little bit, tried to make us feel a little bit bad, but as long as the minor was blocked and he was no longer in contact with them, that's all I really cared about. This is a screenshot of him saying, I guess, that they're blocked. I was trying really hard. He is a friend of mine, or he was a friend of mine, and I just really want to give him the benefit of the doubt. I still do, but I can't anymore, obviously. I don't know exactly when this tweet was posted. I guess there's probably a date on it, but I just assumed that this was about the minor. I'm conflicted. I want to, but I don't want to at the same time, but I'm drawn towards you, but it's not fully right. There's something wrong with me. Yes, Nova, it's that you're attracted to a child. That is what's wrong with you. I really hope, I pray and pray and pray that post was not about the minor. It probably is, though. It just really hurts me to think that, I don't even know what to say. Basically, there's a bunch of screenshots of him trying to make me and my adult friends trying to feel bad for him, like he just wants us to feel bad, continually bringing up this 13-year-old apparently that was bullying him, allegedly, in my server. I don't know anything about that. I don't care about that. Who cares if a 13-year-old was being mean to you? You're an adult. I talked to the 13-year-old. I really don't know the whole situation, but they're kind of attacking each other. The fact of the matter is, Nova is making vague tweets about this child, blaming them for the reason Nova got caught. So he's blaming this 13-year-old for everything that's going on right now. No, Nova, the problem is that you were contacting a minor and being really gross and flirty. Now, you might be thinking, Nawnii, there's literally no proof that he was flirty to this minor, and you are correct on that. Turns out that was a lie, because the first victim of Nova, or rather, the first person I found out about, has come forward and told some stuff. They're very strong for doing this. I'm super relieved that they did this. I didn't actually think that they would. I'm just really excited, and I'm really relieved that they are realizing that they were manipulated by Nova. So I'm gonna go ahead and read their tweet. I know it's a tweet and it's public, but again, I just wanted to make sure that I blocked out everyone's name just in case people didn't want to be associated with this video. So I'll admit that when we liked each other and stuff, I never knew about it, and at the time, I would have felt betrayed, I guess. Even though we weren't dating. Also, he made sexual jokes towards me, even though I'm a minor, and I said, hey, that makes me kind of uncomfy. And he stopped pretty much, but I don't like that he even really did that in the first place. And yeah, we shipped our OCs and stuff. We had some art of them kissing and stuff. I obviously regret trying it, but I don't know. It was fine at the time. I might add more to this later. So this is the minor coming forward and admitting that there was not only some sort of relationship going on, maybe not boyfriend, girlfriend, but a relationship in general. I have a screenshot of Nova making a borderline NSFW joke here. I don't want to read it because that makes me very uncomfortable, so I'm not going to read it out loud, but it's on the screen right now, so yeah. They were very lovey-dovey together, you know, like I love yous and snuggles and kisses and sweet dreams and things of that nature, which is not okay for an adult to say to a 13-year-old. So the victim says that Nova would constantly or oftentimes call her hot, which is again weird for someone talking to a minor. Here's a screenshot of him calling her hot. So yeah, he also had pet names for her. One of them being Nugget, like, "Aw, you're my adorable little Nugget," which is a little bit weird to have pet names for your friends who you're not in relationships with. I don't know. Kinda. This is sarcasm, by the way. So now we do have a little bit more evidence on this side. I was a little bit worried because we only had the evidence of Nova saying that he had feelings for this person, and we didn't have any of their conversations together. But now we do. We got it right in the middle of editing this video, so that was nice. But yeah, anyway, back to past Nawnii. Let's go!
Basically, Nova and we became friends in the Nawnii server, and we started talking more, and like we got really close as friends. And so I remember Nova's pet chameleon died, and like I consoled him. I would have done that for anybody, but apparently I guess he like started having feelings for me. And so he confessed, and I was like, yeah, I kind of like you too, but I mean, I'm super young, so we should just be friends, right? And yeah, and he's like, okay, yeah, I understand. Then like after that, we kind of weren't friends, and so like he started flirting. He was like, oh, I love you, and I was like, yeah, I love you too. And he called me cute and stuff, and I was just like, oh, I'll snuggle you and stuff. And then we'd say good night, like, oh, good night, sleep well, I love you, with hearts and stuff, every single night, mostly. And then the rest of our friend group, they got sort of mad at Nova because like he was only spending time with me, because like I was like, I guess, the only person in the world to him. And like it makes sense why they would be upset, because like, yeah, rude, you know. So then I eventually told one of our friends, the closest one in our friend group other than me and Nova, and they were like kind of skeptical, but then, like, I mean, they were also really emotionally dependent on Nova, like me. They kind of got manipulated, so they were like supportive and stuff. They're like, okay, as long as you just stay friends and stuff. And I was like, yeah, yeah. And it's not their fault in any way, because it was all the same. So when school started, I couldn't talk as much. I had homework. I couldn't be on VC or play games and stuff with them as much. And like Nova got really sad and like sort of depressed, and he was like, oh, I don't really love you anymore. Like I've sort of lost feelings for you. And again, I was super emotionally dependent on him. So I was like devastated, and like I was really sad about that. And I was like, oh, this is the worst day ever, right? And then like eventually soon he's just like, never mind, I love you now. Then everything like was the same, except I was like worse off as in mental health. And like it happened a couple times. He did this a couple times, including when I came out as non-binary, and he didn't really like me because of it, and like that's kind of transphobic. And I was like, oh, again, I was devastated. So he's kind of manipulating me like that. He was just breaking my mental health, and like, you know, basically I was becoming super dependent on him emotionally, and it was working. And in September, I got Twitter. He started like publicly flirting a little bit, and I was like, okay, yeah. I was sort of uncomfortable, but I didn't tell him because, yeah, how do I tell him? I can't, you know. And so it was fine. I was like, yeah, I mean, if he does it, it's fine. Then, oh, right. So I drew a lot of stuff for him because, like, he didn't, like, bribe me or anything. He didn't pay me. Like, he paid me, like, a couple times. But then whenever I closed my commissions, he's like, okay, I guess it's free now. He didn't say that, but, like, that's what he did. And, like, so he asked me for a lot of art, and I drew him every single thing he asked. Like, everything. Every single thing. And then later, he was like, oh, but you keep drawing me stuff. I should stop asking you. Oh, I'm such a bad person for you drawing me all this stuff for free. Oh, I'm like, oh. And I was like, no, it's okay. I promise it's okay. I don't feel bad. No, no, no. Like, sort of guilt tripping me, I guess. So he also kept trying to buy me games and art and characters and things and stuff. And I was like, no, I no. But like, I gave in eventually just to get him to stop bugging me. And once in DMs, he like secretly asked me out. He um like, oh, I can we secret date even though we can never tell anybody. I just can't wait for that long. And I was like, in my head, I didn't really want to because I was like, no, I'm literally I'm very young. I am like 2 years, I'm not. I'm very young is the point. And I was like, no, but I didn't say that because like I said yes. I was like, how can I say no? I'm so happy with them, right? Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Nobody will ever know. It's okay. I guess we sort of were flirting more in DMs and also on like Twitter and stuff. And eventually people were always sort of suspicious because I was always like giggly and happy and giddy around him and stuff. And yeah, like it was pretty obvious, I guess. And then after everyone found out, uh he was blaming another minor for like quote unquote harassing him and stuff, even though he was just kind of like bullying them. And Nova was basically, I was on his side in that. I thought, oh, this other minor is harassing and bullying Nova. That's like, cause yeah, and like a lot of our other friends were on his side too. But like I haven't, but now like I can actually see, and most of our other friends can actually see now that the minor was actually the one getting bullied and harassed and stuff, and ignored a lot of the time, and Nova was basically guilt tripping a lot, playing the victim, and I didn't even know there were like other minors that were getting groomed and stuff, or at least he was talking to. And yeah, another thing that he did was he would always like well, not always, but sometimes he would make like sexual jokes towards me in DMs, and uh he'd always be like, I'm sorry, and I'd be like, no. Like first I would be like, no, like, but in a jokey way because I didn't want to make him feel bad. And then he'd be like, sorry, XD, because like it's always like XD or Lamau or something. Sorry, but also I'm laughing about it. And I always tried to make him feel like it was okay, even though it really wasn't. I was very uncomfortable with that. Like, he would also call me hot, and I didn't like that. I tried to tell him I didn't like that. He didn't really pick up on me telling him about that because I wasn't really confident enough to like straight up tell him. And like I don't know. The last thing I can really think of is that he's been a little bit like transphobic and homophobic and stuff. And it's like I never really picked up, I mean I kind of picked up on it, but I never really told him that much. And when I did tell him, he was like, I don't know, that's just my opinion. I'm just uncomfortable talking about those topics. And I was like, okay, I guess I respect your opinion and stuff. And I was like, I don't know, I just didn't really like it because it was transphobic, homophobic, and I'm non-binary, sapphic, you know. I didn't like that. And he's just like, he's like straight and cis, and everything was great for him because he had all this privilege and stuff. And like, yeah, I mean, I guess that's it.
This isn't the only person he's ever been flirty with. I'm gonna go ahead and show you now the other person he's been flirty with. Let's get right into it. The person who originally did a call-out post on Twitter got a DM from another minor. Hello, I noticed you have posted about him flirting with the minor, the minor number 1, and I would also like to say that he has flirted with one more minor, or me, before moving on to her, as we kind of drift, and he's even confessed and all that. I do have screenshots if you would like them, but I have blocked out my own name because I don't want to be really known as someone targeted by him. If you want, you probably do have enough evidence. I just thought that the behavior isn't fresh news, I don't know. And I was 14 when he was started flirting. Yes, I did make a great mistake. You get it. So let's go ahead and go through these screenshots. Again, this minor, completely different minor, is blocked out for safety reasons. Nova decided as an adult to message a minor by saying, well, I could nuzzle or cuddle, but I won't go that far unless it's asked for XD. That's just freaky. That's just a really creepy thing to say to a kid, right? Well, you already know I have feelings for you. You either remember, forgot, or chose to forget. But this morning when I said I can sleep with the weight of knowing I'm not enough, you said, I am enough. And I said, you don't know what I mean. He just said that he had feelings for a minor, so this is the second minor he has admitted to having feelings for. He wanted to ship their OCs, which seems to be a very common thing amongst Nova. If they're minors, their OCs aren't minors, so I guess I'm gonna ship myself with them, which is still very creepy. Can I say good morning, cutie? Is that okay? That's freaky. That's creepy. I don't even think my boyfriend says good morning, cutie. That's like weird. I know the age difference is awkward, right? Right now at least. But I just feel so close as a friend with you, really. Like, I'd actually wait 3 years if I don't find someone else around my age. You constantly help me when I feel down. You joke around a lot with me. You comfort me, and you make me happy. So not only is this a minor that he's willing to wait for, which is a really creepy thing to say to a child, but he's only, like, he'd only wait for her if he doesn't find anybody else. So, like, yeah, you're my backup, babe. Wink, wink. That's literally what that says. I'm going to be honest, not many girls have done that in the way you do. I know you don't feel the same, but I couldn't contain the urge to tell you when I did and ask the question I did just now. I try to forget, but you just helped me so much. So this is like literally exactly the same stuff that he claimed that the other minor did. He said that the other minor helped him so much, and that's why he's so connected to her. This might be a weird question, or one that you feel uncomfortable to answer, and you don't have to answer. But someday in the future, would there be a possibility us? I'm probably gonna regret this question later. She is a minor. He wanted to date a minor, 2 of them. This is the second one. You're my waifu now, XD. Good morning, you cutie. I'm off to sleep now. I hope your birthday was amazing. You know, I love you, yes? More ways than one. But when I say this, I mostly mean it as a best friend kind of look because of how you feel about relationships. So yeah, haha. Good morning, goofball. He's like a creepy uncle. Stop. Instead of trying to guilt the kid, just leave me alone, please. Make the kid feel bad. Make the kid feel like emotionally dependent on you, like has to make you feel better. It's just gross. I don't even know the word for it right now. That's how mad I am. So, while I was gathering the evidence and looking at all the evidence that I had received, I had remembered that there had been another person that kind of fell into the same pattern.
Hi, I'm one of the mentioned minors that's unfortunately been a victim of grooming under the hands of Nova Synergy. I will explain how I came to meet this person, the details of experiences and conversations that I've had with them, and everything in between. When I first met Nova, I was 14 years old, and sometime into our friendship, I had turned 15. I have always had my age up in my bio, and have mentioned in conversations multiple times that I was 14, so he knew exactly how young I was. He was 17 the first time of contact, but very quickly turned 18 as his birthday was close to when I met him. I met Nova through Twitter. We began replying to each other via Nawnie's posts, and eventually Nova DM'd me on January 31st, 2020 to ask if I did commissions by any chance. This talking went on for a bit, to where he began complimenting me right off the bat and sometimes even using the cat winky face. Which, if you don't know what I'm talking about, is the semicolon in the 3. On to the details of said compliments. Nova called me and my actions cute very often, while role-playing boobs or hugs. He began calling me his best friend very quickly from when we started talking. While speaking of a club I was in at the time for school, he slipped in a question of if I had a significant other that I went to said club with. Not knowing the intent behind such a question, I said no and stated I wasn't interested in changing that. He later hinted that he wanted to be Valentine's, complaining about a ship bot not giving him the ship he wanted, asking how I wanted the upcoming Valentine's of 2020 to go for me, and basically just overall seeing how I would react if I was asked to be a Valentine in general. Sure enough, after moving our conversation to Discord, he did indeed ask me to be his Valentine. I made clear that it would be nothing more than a quote-unquote harmless label, and that I didn't want to be any more than just normal friends. The day after Valentine's, he admitted to having feelings for me. I told him I did not feel the same. He later proceeded to remind me a couple of times of said feelings, and even once said a meme that felt a little iffy and manipulative to me. He asked me if he was making me uncomfortable before, and I answered, to which he did stop those mannerisms that I mentioned. I only told him to quit being publicly affectionate, but he should not have begun those actions in the first place. Something he apparently used as a reason to have fallen for me was the fact that I had helped him through his rough times, as he expressed through various vents. Nova vented to me very many times, and I have vented to him once or twice in the beginning. Nova should not have vented to someone as young as myself, and any other adult or older friend of his would have been adequate nonetheless. While upset, Nova would use specific use of text, such as multiple dots, to express his sadness and upsetness in whatever he was upset about at said moment. When telling me drama about what was going on in his friend group, which was none of my business, he only told me his side and villainized people of which he was mad at or didn't like within said friend group to make them be the ones that looked bad, without me knowing the full gist of what's been on. Nova has attempted many times to get me gift, expressed how he wanted to send me presents to get me Steam games and things that are physical items. I don't have Steam. He has also tried to get my home address out of me. I've also been told that he did this to the minor as well. Lucky for us, we both refused to give him such personal info. He has also gone to people he happened to be mutuals with that were giving away art, asking them to make me some art, usually being from free art giveaways that I have just so happened to comment on, or even made up raffles that he entered for me. Speaking of art, he has also gotten a lot from me. I didn't really mind at the time, honestly, but he was spoken to about it by somebody else, subtly telling him off for asking others for way too much art, to which he didn't respond well to such a comment and acted very sad about it to me to make me on his side. Nova once had me make ship art of our fursonas. I explained very clearly that I did not support such a ship, as my Sona is literally me in art form, and I think of his Sona as himself. He told me that he did ship it, and despite being a little uncomfortable, I told him I didn't mind. He expressed how he wanted to see more ship art, and I didn't make any more because it did truly make me uncomfy. And most important of all, Nova flirted. He told me he loved me very often, sent me emoji hearts, sent me winky cat faces, told me that myself or my mannerisms were cute a lot, gave me roleplay boobs and hugs, and offered doing cuddles or snuggles a few times for me. While going through this, I did not realize the huge severity of Nova's actions. I looked up to Nawnii. It's not her fault, please don't blame her. She seriously did not know until I was like, hey, I'm a part of this too. In which he was friends with at the time, and to which he had tricked me into believing his intentions were pure and trustworthy, with not only the pedestal he used, but also his tone and such. I soon came to realize, after kind of drifting from Nova, that he begun to get close with another minor that is way younger than me, too. My mind had begun making doubts and his intentions, and sometimes my subconscious would go, this guy's the P word, but I'd still try to reassure myself about it. I had hoped the other minor was just about near in age to be close in a way to him, which wasn't the case, sadly, and I had hoped their younger voice on that call was just a little coincidence. I wanted to give Nova the benefit of the doubt, but it was simply just not the case. When the first public post calling him out came up, I was severely conflicted about what I should do next. Reading the screenshots, I decided that his actions were perceived as gross and sounded wrongly and oddly familiar to my own experience with him. I proceeded to block Nova everywhere and contact the person who had had the call out and about how he had done pretty much the same to myself and showed all of the questionable things that he'd said to me. I am glad I was able to get such an opportunity to confirm the deepness and wrongness of his actions for myself and for others.
The pattern that Nova shows is he finds someone, gets free art from them constantly, and then becomes really close friends with them and continues to get free art from them. And I remembered that before both of these minors that there was someone else, and thankfully I just remembered their name and I decided to contact them over on Instagram. They gave me permission to use the screenshots, but because they are also a minor, I decided to cut out their names. So let's go ahead and get rid of it. First, they sent me a long DM detailing everything that they had gone through with Nova. Me and Nova met on Twitter when I was 13. We never talked much. He usually just complimented my art, commissioned me for DeviantArt points, and Twitter DMs. My old Twitter got suspended because I was 13 at the time, so I wasn't allowed to be on there. Nova messaged me about why he couldn't DM my Twitter, and I said I put my age in as my birthday. He knew that I was 13, and he said yeah. When I made my new Twitter account, when I was older, he found my new account and DM'd me, and we talked and switched over to Discord because he complained that he didn't get the notifications from my messages. He never flirted or was inappropriate with me, but he did raise some red flags. He always called me cute a lot, and I'm fine with being called cute by my friends, but he did it a lot, and I never showed my face to him at all. He asked for his character and my character to be drawn and hugged by me, which I always responded with, yeah, I will think about it, since I wasn't really close to him at all. He never said draw your OC mine right now, he always said if you want to, but it made me uncomfortable. This part of what he talked to me about, he asked if I could keep it private, but still, to this day, I still get sick from what he told me. This girl on Twitter, the minor we previously talked about, who was friends with him, he always told me about her and stuff, and at first I thought it was alright since I tell my friends about my other friends too, but on my inactive Twitter DMs, he told me that he had a crush on her. It was near her birthday, so she was turning 15, while I think he was 19. I can't get proof since Twitter won't give me a verification code, etc. We don't need proof because we have proof of him admitting that he did in fact have a crush on her. My point in reading this is because I thought that, if anything, it would just solidify the fact that he did in fact have a crush on another 14-year-old. I just thought that was important to put here. Anyways, we're gonna go through the screenshots that minor decided to send me. He wasn't inherently extremely flirty like he was with the others, but he did call this person, who was 13 at the time, cute, constantly. You're cute. I wanna hug ya. If you want to draw two characters hugging, you could draw us. So I guess this person's name had something to do with beautiful in it, and he decided to cross it out and say they're beautiful, which is a little creepy if you ask me, for an adult to sell you to a 13-year-old. Haha, you're cute. Shut up, you're cute. I mean, you want to practice poses and other stuff, so you could draw Nova and your character hugging XD. So I think this person blocked him, or they drifted away in some way. Thankfully, it didn't get any worse than that. If you wanted any more proof that not only that previous minor we were talking about, but the first minor we were talking about, he decides to, I guess, brag about having feelings for the most recent minor. I won't say it publicly, but minor and I did have feelings for each other. However, we have both stated the age difference and said we didn't care. Both of us did. 2 weeks ago, Nawnii talked to me about it, so I thought for a day and ended things. That's why I said blank and I don't talk anymore. They knew the age difference was the problem. Nova still moved forward with it. Also, he decided to highlight the fact that both of them decided that it was okay. Well, one of them is a minor, and minors can't consent, so it doesn't matter. So now we're gonna go ahead and move on to Nova's confession and apology. I don't think it's an apology, but I'm just reading it as its title. What has been shared is true. Well, most of it is. Yes, I did have romantic feelings for someone who goes by the alias of a minor. However, my personality seems to be flirtatious sometimes. Okay, so I would like to stop it right there. His personality seems to be flirtatious sometimes. The only times that I've ever heard about Nova being flirtatious, other than one case, is with minors. I am 23. I have several friends that Nova has been in contact with, several friends that we're in group DMs with. We even have like a private Minecraft Discord server, and he's never been flirtatious to me or any of my other friends. It seems that he's only been flirtatious to several minors and one exception of an 18-year-old who didn't feel comfortable with it anyway because they were in a relationship. So he's been creepy to only minors and someone who was in a relationship. I feel like that's kind of a problem. He doesn't have a flirtatious personality. He just seems to be flirtatious when he's around children. At least that's what the pattern seems like. That doesn't mean I'm intentionally flirting. The only one I did this to was... Yes, I know I'm 18 and she's a minor. I have stated multiple times that our relationship isn't okay. She had reciprocated the feelings for me, yes, but still... That shouldn't justify my actions. I shouldn't excuse my behavior. No, and it doesn't- I wish you wouldn't have put the minors' names in here, because that's just kind of crappy on its own, considering this person literally just turned 14. This was a 12-year-old, like, 2 years ago. That's gross. It doesn't matter if she reciprocated your feelings, it's because you made her probably emotionally dependent on you with your constant venting and feel bad. You constantly ask people for free art. It's bad. Let me keep reading before I get mad. Oh, also note that he said that this is the only person he did it to. They stated I did this to another minor, but that isn't entirely the case. If I am correct, the one that they are talking about is redacted. Yes, I told her once that I liked her, but when she heard that, she told me she doesn't feel the same, which I completely understood, and there's nothing else happened. I didn't continue anything at all. I made her uncomfortable in some situations, but when I asked her about it, she told me that what it was, and I stopped. I'm not trying to get people to be on my side. I just want people to listen to my side. It doesn't matter if you continued to talk to her or to flirt with her. You admitting your feelings to another minor, another child you had feelings for. Don't you see a problem there? You had feelings for not one, but 2 children. That's weird. Something in Nawnii's server that came up as well. I wasn't flirting with anyone at all. Again, my personality just can come off that way, but my intentions were completely different. I try to be nice and make new friends. I'm gonna go ahead and flash up some nice screenshots of him being just himself, not flirty at all. No, you're being flirty. This is gross. Thankfully, this person isn't a minor, but this is still debunking your entire, statement here. Also, you said that the first minor was the only one you did this to, and then the next paragraph, 3 sentences afterwards, you said, oh, I also did it to this person. You completely contradicted yourself in your 4 or 5 paragraph confession apology or whatever. Allow me to explain that situation. Just before Christmas, a user, whose name I don't remember, was joking around and talking about mistletoe. I happened to be there when it happened. After all the mistletoe talk, they were flossing on the roof. I don't know what that means. What came next might seem bad until you see that I have said this to many of my other friends. I told them, you better cut that out before I cuddle you, which is something that 1 year of being Nova's friend, he has never told me, which again, I say a lot. Said this to, I would assume, another child. It's a little creepy. It's not as bad as the other things he did, but I just want to say that I've talked to Nova on several occasions, several days in a row, and he's never said that to me. There honestly isn't much else to talk about other than I'm sorry for the way I've acted. I'm sorry for what I did, and I'm sorry if I hurt anyone. I will be thinking about everything from now on. I'll be thinking of more things to add to this, and if I find anything to add, I will do so. I know some might not believe me when I say I'm sorry, but I mean it. Stay safe, everyone. He's sympathy baiting. He's talking to minors. Not sorry that he affected 2 children. He is sorry that he was caught. 100%. There's nothing else that I can say about it. He's sorry that he was caught. That's it. Case in point. There's several minors on his defense because I would just assume that he manipulated them into feeling bad for him, and I assume they don't know the entire situation, which is why I decided to make this video. There's a lot more to what Nova is thinking. One of the main things that these minors are arguing about is that a 13-year-old was harassing him. And for some reason, somehow, he convinced these minors that are still on his side that the reason that everything is going to crap right now for him is that because a 13-year-old harassed him. I'm gonna tell you right now, the 13-year-old has nothing to do with this. The only thing that I am here to talk to you about is the fact that you talked to these 2 children and had feelings for 2 children. That's the only thing that I care about in this situation. I could care less that a 13-year-old was harassing you. You're an adult. Don't make tweets like this about 13-year-olds. It's pathetic. Stop. I'm really saddened by this because you were a friend of mine and I'm just really upset, okay? I don't know what else to say. Alright, so, there's more to this. This is future Nawnii. This video was supposed to be done in 2020, but just more and more kept happening. Anyways, after Nova's apology, if you could call it that, he posted, I guess, another apology? I don't know what you'd call it, but we're gonna read it regardless. I want to make things right, ... but I don't know how just yet. I dragged myself into this mess and I keep digging holes. I want to stop digging those holes and face the consequences of my actions. I know I've done some messed up crap. I apologize sincerely. I'm disgusting and disappointed at myself for what I've done. Flirting with a minor, making sexual jokes, and all of that was hidden behind a mask of joy. I, Nova, admit to it all, and I hope that at a later date, I know everyone I hurt will be okay. I don't expect sympathy, nor am I trying to guilt trip at all. This is my second confession and I'm in my parting note. I will not be active for quite some time, and when I get back, I hope everything will be over, and I hope that it will have vastly changed for the better. Farewell for now, everyone. Nova. So he left, allegedly, December 31st, New Year's Eve, and then came back the next day, about 20 hours after, he posted his confession, if you will. But yeah, let's read the rest of it, I guess. I know I said I will be leaving for a while, but I just have more to say sometimes, so I will periodically add to this. It really hurts me knowing how many people I hurt, and I want to change. I really do. I know saying that I learned my lesson now won't do anything. No, it won't, because instead of you said that you're really hurt. Oh no, I feel so bad for Nova, he is really hurt. No. You're an adult and you affected children. You made one of them emotionally dependent on you, and their emotions were you heard what she said in her little segment. It's just, and it probably won't be anything for a while. So that's why I said I want to take a break. My apologies are dog crap, I know. But to everyone I betrayed and hurt, I am truly deeply remorseful. You don't have to accept my apology, but I just want to put it out there for now. Another thing, my intentions were not to groom anyone. So before we read the rest of this, I've already read this obviously, but Nova does not know what the definition of grooming is, so I'm going to put that out here right now. For some reason he thinks grooming means buying people stuff. I buy gifts for lots of people. I offered to buy gifts for my friends. I bought Minor a few games, characters, and pieces of art. Offered to buy another minor a few things, another minor, as well as another minor, too, I believe. If I am wrong about it, if I ever offered to buy you something, please let me know. I bought a game for Nawnii, and I also gave her my $120 capture card. So I would like to point out that he's trying to I bought all these people things because I'm a nice person. I even bought Nawnii a game. I don't remember what game he bought me off the top of my head, to be completely honest. I even bought Nawnii a game and gave her a $120 capture card. A capture card in which I told him not to send me because it made me feel bad. So there's that. And a capture card that he would later try to say, well, I sent you that gift, so why don't you draw me something? Or you could draw me this as in return. And here I am sitting there I thought this was a gift and I didn't even want you to send it to me because it made me uncomfortable. And yet he was asking for art in return all of a sudden. So there's that. Grooming was no intention of mine, just gift giving. Again, grooming doesn't mean just giving gifts to people. And the statements that I made just now justify that. Once again, don't justify that. Now justify that? I mean, now just, okay. I am truly, deeply sorry to all those whose trust and friendship I betrayed. I will continue to think about my actions and keep trying to better myself. If I have anything else to add, I will. Well, instead of dwelling on Twitter, I would prefer if you just actually went to get help. Go get a therapist, even if it's an online therapist. Talk to somebody, because I would like to think that you're not doing this intentionally. It's just something... I don't know. At this point, it's hard to say. Look at this screenshot. I've already showed it previously, but it's disgusting. He's talking to a 13-year-old in this screenshot. I don't know if you're busy or not, but I want to confess something. I'm done. I'm done holding back. Done holding back what I want, what we want. And despite the age differences, I want you to be mine, even if we don't tell a single soul. Even if we tell no one. Not a friend, not a pet, not a diary. Not in a short story. Even if we tell no one or no thing, I want us to be a thing. I'm basically asking you, will you go out with me? Even if we tell no one? He told this to a 13-year-old. A 13-year-old. You didn't betray me, Nova. You apologized to me in DM several times. Well, I guess you did betray me, but you didn't hurt me, Nova. You hurt this child, and others, apparently, and manipulated a group of minors that were your friends, apparently. Like, you must have known that it was wrong, considering me and my adult friends, at one point our adult friends, were all your friend, and you never mentioned them. Ever. You never, not once mentioned them, because you must have known that it was a little bit creepy, right? I just can't get over this. Your apology, or whatever you call a confession, does suck. It's really bad. A couple of our mutuals, friends or people that were friends with Nova, decided to come to me and say that they did in fact want to say a couple words towards Nova and just kind of say their piece on the entire situation. So we're gonna go ahead and let them speak. Thank you guys.
I'm gonna just cut straight to the point and discuss this situation. So I met Nova through one of Nawnii's streams at the time, and we started to DM each other shortly after that, and we became a part of Nawnii's group. Fast forward a bit, and I noticed he was being flirty and lovey-dovey with one of the victims in Nawnii's server and on Twitter, and at the time I was gonna confront him about it, but considering I didn't want to think the worst of him, I just kept it to myself. A couple days before Christmas, Nova was DMing me about a group of people he claimed was harassing him in Nawnii's server. I looked into it, and at the time I thought, oh, these people are actually harassing him. But I didn't really do much outside of tell him, hey man, I'll look into it if they do it again. And a couple days later, on Christmas Eve, he DM'd me again saying that, oh, they're harassing me again. So I looked into it again and told him, oh, if they keep doing it, I'll mute them, and then if they keep doing it, I'll kick them. He gave me the usernames, and that was that, until he DM'd me asking if he was kicked. Of course, me being confused, I looked into it, and he was kicked, and I told him he was, and he was asking me why does Nawnii hate me? And I told him I'm not sure, maybe it was an accident. Maybe you should ask Nawnii or Yaki about it. And then he said he did. They're not responding to him, and so I was confused. He was really confused at the time, and then he got someone to bring him back into the server, only for him to be banned immediately afterwards. So then he's asking me why he was banned, and then he asked me to look into why he was banned, and that's when I noticed that it said Nawnii banned him, and the reason being was, quote, the way he has been speaking with minors has been making me and several others very concerned. So he says, what the fuck? The only minor I was really close with was the minor. We don't talk anymore. And all I simply told him was, I don't know, man. And that was the last time I ever spoke to him. A couple of days afterwards, and when Nawnii announced why he was banned, what he was doing, I asked her what was going on, and I asked her, can you send me the screenshots you mentioned? And she showed me the screenshots, and that's when I saw what he was actually doing. After that, I told her I'm not going to talk to him anymore. I'm not going to associate with him, and that's pretty much what happened after that. I will be speaking directly to Nova if he's watching this. You need to seek professional help. You have stated on your Twitter that you are taking a break from the internet and are not seeking help. I really hope you are. I hope that you get the help you need, and I hope you stay away from children on the internet. That's all I have to say. Stay safe everyone and be good people.
I'm gonna jump straight to the point. I met Nova through my boyfriend. I'm not gonna blabber on about our friendship because there wasn't much of one. But on December 30th, I saw Nova post the following. I'm conflicted. I want to, but I don't want to at the same time. But I'm drawn towards you, but it isn't fully right. There's something wrong with me.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
Before I saw that tweet, I was alerted by my boyfriend that Nova could have been talking to a minor. At that time, no one was sure. So I decided to confront him about it, and here's our conversation. Little editing, AV here. I forgot that I mentioned one of the minors, so that's why it's blocked off, and I will be saying minor, just saying minor's name here. For the minors, so yeah, there's that. Yo, serious question, and I wanted to get this from you. Are you / were you dating or flirting with said minor? Said minor's name? I spelled the minor's username name wrong for a second. Yeah, sorry, phone. It's fine, but yeah, we liked each other, but we never dated though. She helped me through a ton, so I ended up catching some feels. Bro, don't know their age, but you can't be falling for minors. You can be friends with them, but you can't flirt or that with minors. There's a power dynamic there, my dude. It's not my fault she helped me with more things than anyone else has combined. I know it's wrong and I feel bad for it. But again, blank has helped me through so fucking much. If you ask her about things as well, go ahead. I have enough negativity towards myself and I don't need any more. Nova, take a step back for a second and really think about it. Imagine being a minor and an adult you looked up to comes to you and dumps all their emotional baggage out on you and all that mess. You want to help, don't you? But when you help said person, they take it as flirting. A minor doesn't have the mental state to comprehend a lot of shit. I never took their help as flirting. I am her friend and they cared sincerely. I didn't want to talk about my problems much, but I knew blank wanted to help. But here's the thing. You dumped your problems onto a minor instead of going to a professional or even another adult. Me and Jake cared about you and you could have talked to either of us, but you didn't. You can't control your feelings, I get it, but you can control if you act upon them or not. You can't say, well, we both feel the same way, because a minor will do anything for someone who they look up to. They will want to help, and they will because they look up to you. You can care about a minor without getting feelings. I'm speaking from experience because you know I was groomed by my ex whenever I was a minor. But here's the thing about that, not everyone is the same. Not all people are going to act the same. Does that make sense? Who even told you about this? And before you accuse me, there was no grooming involved at all. Jake, and he got the stuff from Nawnii. Bro, someone can be 15 and act 18. That still doesn't make it right. I ain't accusing you of grooming or any of that shit. I'm just telling you what's good. Did I say it doesn't make it right? I didn't. I even said I feel about the way I feel towards her, but she helped me through so much. I'm not doing any of the flirty stuff with her anymore. I talked to her about this. Your defensive attitude makes you sound like you are defending the fact that you flirted with her. The attitude of, it's not my fault because she helped me through so much. What else was I supposed to do other than catch feelings? I don't know if you're doing it now or not. It's completely f***ed up, Nova. You keep trying to defend yourself and the actions instead of sitting down and going, yeah, I f***ed up, but I'm going to do better and get help. I may not be getting help, but I am trying to do better. You act like you want me to block her entirely and never talk to her. You definitely need to distance yourself from them. You need to get help, Nova. You need to talk to a professional instead of spilling your thoughts onto a minor. But no one can help you if you don't seek the help yourself. I have nothing else to say, but I wish you luck and I hope you get professional help. He then proceeds to send me a screenshot between him and said minor that we were talking about. I blocked out the minor again for, reasons. He then proceeds to dramatically say, there, it's ended, everything. And this was a few hours later, as you can see in the text messages. I say, bro, Nawnii said you were supposed to drop them like last week and you lied to Nawnii. And this is copied and pasted. You'll see Nawnii's screenshots. This is copied and pasted and sent to me. What else? Should I block said minor? That what you want me to do? I doubt we are even gonna say anything to each other. I sent a screenshot saying I'm done with everything. And I got really furious and I went, I'm done. You keep lying and digging a hole instead of getting help. You need professional help, Nova. And don't try to guilt me. I'm done with this situation because it's borderlining a trigger of mine. If you want to talk to someone, talk to Nawnii and Jake. And this is where our conversation ended. I would later to find out after I called out Nova on my Twitter that it wasn't just one minor, but there is 2 minors that this happened to, and there might be more, but we don't know. These 2 minors who have came forward to me, they have gotten art from me, from Nova, and they've gotten art and adopts from me, and this is very sickening to my core to find this out. To make this simple, Nova, I'm gonna be talking to you for a second. Nova, as a survivor of grooming and other heinous acts from people just like you, I say for you to stay away from children. Stay far away. You need to actually seek professional help. Now I will speak for the children who came to me, who were affected personally due to your selfish actions. Do not contact them in the future. Stay far away from them. You've taken advantage of them, you used them for your own gain, and hell, even bullied one and accused one of lying about having a disorder. You disgust me, and I hope you get serious help and come to your senses. Minors cannot consent. Minors do not have the skills to deal with adult emotions that you have spilled out on them. Get help. That is all I have to say.
So basically, my point in making this video, or the reason why I made this video, is because this person was in my Discord server and was someone I trusted. So people in my server who were fans of me probably felt like they could trust this person because I trusted this person. And I want to sincerely apologize for not recognizing the red flags that this person gave off to me from the day that I met them. I don't really have any excuse, but I do apologize for it. And from this point forward, if I ever do make any new internet friends, I probably won't make them a mod, and I'm probably never gonna get super close to anybody over the internet, at least not for a really long time, especially if it's through my fan base. So yeah, I just want to apologize for not recognizing that this was a problem, especially not recognizing that this was a problem way earlier. I wish I could have recognized it a lot sooner, but I don't know. I guess I was just oblivious to the entire situation, and I'm really sorry for that. I didn't want to make this video. I really didn't, because he was a friend of mine, and I didn't feel right making a video about a friend of mine, even if they did do something wrong. Typically, if someone in the community that I'm involved in does something wrong, they have a following, and other people make videos about it. That way I don't have to feel pressured into doing anything about it because other people can handle it, and I don't have to worry. But this person was still active with a bunch of people from my server, and it didn't feel right for me to not say anything. And that's why this is like a feature-length video, because we just kind of really wanted to get out there. So, Nova, if you're watching this, genuinely, I hope you do go get some help, just some therapy, or just talk to an adult, anything, just something. You have to recognize what you've done wrong, because I suspect that you don't actually realize what you've done wrong in it full. I don't think you understand how you affected these people or how you can affect them. These types of things can affect people for the rest of their life. Like, this is something that might dwell on a person for their entire life. I just hope you can understand what you did, and I hope you can recognize why it's wrong instead of being sorry that you were caught. That's the vibe I'm getting, is that you're very sorry that you were caught, and I don't think you ever would have apologized if I didn't come to you in the first place. So, with that, I hope the rest of 2021 is good, and thank you for everyone involved in this video, and goodbye.